Hi, everyone. Welcome to this PowerBase screencast on working with Mosaico email templates. In this screencast, I'll show some tips and some best practices in creating a basic email template that can be used for future mass emails using the Mosaico feature. Now, in PowerBase, there is also a traditional way of creating email templates, but you sort of need to know how to use HTML to create these templates so that they look nice. With Mosaico, you're using building blocks to build your template and emails so that this ensures mobile responsiveness for your email messages. So let's get started. To get to the area where you want to create your Mosaico templates, you would go to the Mailings menu at the top off the navigation menu, and you go down to Mosaico templates. And here you'll see that there are some base templates. These are basically blank. And then in your database, you may have some already configured templates. Usually we will create some for you. But for today, obviously you could take something that was already configured and just copy it and use it and create something new. But we're going to start from scratch. So I'm going to take this Versifix version, which has some of the basic elements we'll be working with. So I'm going to click on New to start a new template. And let's just say I want to create a general take action template. You can create newsletter templates, as many templates as you like. But for this one, I'm going to do a general take action template. So I'm giving it a name, clicking OK. And now you'll get this screen. So let's just take a look at what we have on the screen. There's a menu here around blocks, and if I just click on them, there's blocks. If I click on blocks, you're going to see the different building blocks. And then for each block, you'll have a content menu and style menu, and this will make sense as we start to add blocks. This here is your image gallery. So this is how you can upload images to your PowerBase, or also you can see what's currently in your gallery so you can use those images. On this right-hand side, this side here is your, I like to call it the palette, but this is where you build your template. Now I know folks ask about, well, what about these little triangular kind of border? Does that show up on my email? No, it doesn't. Remember, this is just a palette. It's just the look, but you don't see that kind of cross edge here on your email. And then of course you have a save. Now the database will try to save periodically, but I totally suggest to save as you go. So there are three elements I want us to think about building a basic template. You want to think of a pre-header, a body, and the footer. And the body may have as many kind of blocks or sections that you want, but we'll keep it simple. The pre-header, and I'm going to call this area up top here is called the pre-header. This area is usually when you open up an email client, your email client, and when you get a message, you'll see the from, you may see the subject line, but then you're going to see additional information, and this pre-header is what shows up. Now, the last thing you want to see right after maybe your subject line is the word unsubscribe. So we're going to play with this pre-header. So we're going to build a few things. I want to build a take action block, and I'm going to add a footer. So you notice here you have different kinds of blocks. Notice that there's image areas that sort of give you these pixel size. It's like 534 by 200 or 258 by 150. You don't have to have pictures that are exactly that pixel size, but try to get rectangular pictures into rectangular blocks. Something that's a more elongated rectangular picture, make sure you've cropped it so it looks like that kind of size, right? The database will shrink your picture to fit that size of the image. So I'm going to bring this block here because I like a picture with something there. And for me, I prefer to click on Add. You can drop and drag. It's just, it works faster for me. if I wanted to click another block, you can click on a block, the current block inside your palette, and you can go and pick some more information. So maybe I want more text. So let's just say I want to bring some more text. Notice there's lots of other things. You can have section titles. You have a separator line. You can adjust these, even just a button, and then other pictures. And then I'm going to bring in, after this block, I'm going to bring in a footer. This footer is important because to send email out of PowerBase, you need to have your organization name and an address, and you need to have the unsubscribe. Okay, so let's just build from here. I have my 3 areas. I have a body with 2 blocks. I have my footer, and I have my pre-header. Now, as I mentioned before, I don't like to have the unsubscribe the first thing. So sometimes I will show you how to add it to the footer. Let that be the last thing that you want folks, because we should allow folks to unsubscribe to mailings. So if I click on the first block, I'll be able to get to this pre-header. And I can also just click on the pre-header. Notice you can show it or not show it, right? Then there's no pre-header at all. But I like having the view in your browser up at top, as well as a good practice, because folks sometimes don't like to read it in the email client. They prefer to read it in the browser. But here's where I'm going to take this section, and I'm going to take the unsubscribe. I'm just not going to put it there. But if I'm not going to put it there, I still need some text. Otherwise, view in your browser will be the next piece of text. So sometimes I like to add, I tell folks, use the first line of your message. Otherwise, I'll put a little, some language here, and I'm just typing in enter, catchy phrase, just to let folks know, maybe I'll say catchy text here, that they need to enter something here. And then if I click enter, it shows up. And we're going to fix all this color scheme. So that's what I like to do, so at least they have something when in the pre-header, when they're viewing the email and the email client, they have something more catchy there that follows the subject line. So now let's start working with, I like to focus on color scheme, the basic look. You may not, remember this is a template, so you may not need to have content in here, like the actual words. But maybe you do. Maybe you want to have your signature set up down here, which we'll do that here just to show you. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to take this first block, and I just want to start formatting a little bit. I want to be able to format the text so everything is the same. Again, you don't want like different fonts for every block. It's good to have things consistent. Remember, simple is best. Folks are mostly looking at the email template on the email on their phones. So simple is best. So I'm going to look at this block. If I click on it, notice if I click on content, you have some things you can do here. You can show a title, not show a title. Show button, don't show button, right? You can do a lot of things, elements here. Notice there's other elements. You could put a link, and I totally suggest put links to everything so that when they're clicking on it, you can track what they're clicking on. I'm going to give, so we have these things, but let's just start with color scheme. I'm going to go to style because color is important. You want to know what color your, you want to use, let it be consistent, or go with your organization's website colors. I like to have the background color is white, right? So they're reading text on white. And then the external background is just this gray area. It's just, I want it to fill all the way across. So what I'll do here is I basically notice that I'm clicking on this block. I'm applying this style to all blocks that are paragraph type blocks, like these types of blocks with text and images. If I just click on the single block, it means that I only want to apply these changes to style, color, paragraph, things like that, only to that particular block. But for consistency, I want it to go, I'm going to just apply to all blocks. And I'm going to here change external background to white, right? So now you can see both these go all the way across with white. You can take a look, you can pick your color for your text. I'm going to leave it where it is. I do like my paragraph, my words to be a little bit bigger. It's a little better on the eyes, especially on the phone. So I've changed that font size to 15. I want to make sure that my button text is also at the same size. So notice that. right? So I'm just focusing just on style right now, just to get that going. Now, I'm going to give you another tip. If you want to put a logo that is, you know how you have a small logo that goes, that's just a small, like maybe it's squarish in size, or you want it to be flush left. It's not like a banner logo. It's a small logo. Let me give you a tip. I use this block, the same block that you're looking for. I'm going to add another similar block, this block. What I'm going to do, and I'm going to show you how to add a logo, is I'm going to click on this block. I'm going to let this first block be my logo block. I'm not going to show the title. I'm not going to show the button. I'm just basically highlighting and get rid of the text. Notice now I'm just left with an image. And now I can take this image, and this is how I upload an image. I click on the image. I'm going to click on this show image gallery. If you want to upload something from your desktop, you just click and drag the files. It will open up your file folders, and you can pick the one you want. Or you can just go and see what's in your gallery already. And I already have uploaded a logo. So I'm going to just go ahead and click, and notice there it is, right? If I X out the gallery here, I can get back to my menu with the blocks and content. And notice now I can go to image size, and I can make this bigger or smaller. It just depends. Notice that's sort of too big. I'll just keep it on medium. You can resize it. Again, as I mentioned, I'm always going to put a link. So I'm going to put it to my organization's link. And maybe you want an alternative text. These are for folks that can't read HTML emails. They have text. So maybe you just want to put down, this is the PTP logo image, just some text there that they would see. So that's how I create my image. Now, if you have a banner, you could look for another block. Maybe it's this block here, do the same thing. The block here that says 534 by 200, and you can not show the title, the text, and the button, and do the same thing, and then put a banner across. You can also just use this image, this 570 by 20, add that, and if you have a banner type. Okay. So let's go now towards, I'm going to finish a few more things here since we're already working with this text. I'm going to upload another image. This is going to be my take action. So again, I'm going to make sure I pick an image that's going to fit this area. And so I know I have a couple images that are squarish in size, or this square, little rectangular size. Again, I may have to work it and recrop my picture to make it fit, but I'm going to pick this picture. And you can see it here, so it works. I can go back to the block. If I click on the block, I close out the gallery. Notice then you can go to the content and you can change the size, right? So you pick your size, you pick your picture, you can put your text. Again, you can do what you want. You can make it small, big. It doesn't, I'm going to just keep it small for now, just so we can read the rest of this. So title, again, you can put the information you want in a title. I mean, I can just highlight here. Notice you can bold your title if you want to bold it. Again, you could put your text here, your button. Notice I'm going to put my some link to there, just so that even if it's your organizational site, they have something to click on. The button, maybe this is going to be like, give us some money to help with this campaign or whatever it is, right? So I'm going to put my donate here, and then I maybe will put donate now, right? And this is just text, right? And again, you can copy and paste text in here, whatever you want. Now, since this is, again, just a template, I'm not going to write me a message here. That may be when I actually create the email. If you do want to put things like, hi, dear so-and-so, I go, dear first name. Now, you need to make sure in your email list, the list that you're sending to, there's a first name. If there's no first name, don't do this. But if there's first names, if there's no first names, put dear friend. But if there are first names in your list and it's consistent, you can say dear, you can say hi. If I go to tokens, this is how I insert first name. Notice there's plenty of other tokens. You can click on more and you can see all the other things. You can see this is also how we get to unsubscribe. There's all sorts of things you can enter, but usually it's just the first name and then I put the comma and I'm done, right? And you can continue going on here with what you want. Again, don't, be minimalistic. And again, I'm going to say, maybe this is my signature block, right? And I can say in solidarity, sign it off, whatever you want, if you want to put something in there, okay, or your name. So you can have a little signature block. So maybe I put that at the bottom. So the next thing I'd like to do is we're going to add some more color, right? So you sort of need your color. I'm going to click on this. If you go to style, style is where colors are and formatting for the paragraph. Now notice here, if I go to, let's say I want to do something with this button and I want this button color to be the same color as, the blue that's in my logo. I'd have to know that color. Here's the button color. Because right now, if I click on the color swatch, none of these may be the correct ones I need, right? Or you make it up. Otherwise, you need to know the hex color, your hex color for your color blue or whatever color it is. So I know our hex color. And so I'm going to put that in now. And my hex color for my blue, let's just put it in here, is 2E5D87, right? So there's my blue. Notice there it is, and which means I want to make that text white. So I'm just going to click on that, and that's easy. There's white already there, right? So that's how you do color. And I'm going to copy and paste this number since it's already there because I'm going to make my footer the same color. So now I'm going to click down on the footer area so I can start working this content. Notice again, it's just footer. I'm just using the style that only looks for these kinds of, I want to apply the style to these types of blocks. So there's only the one footer. So I can just make the whole thing that blue, but the color, I'm going to make the paragraph white. And I also want the links to also be a one. I want to be able to see it, right? And if I just go back, one more thing here, notice here right now, the link here is, if you wanted to have links, what's that color for the link going to be? Notice here, it's gray. So if you want it to stand out, either put the hex color, I'm just going to use this color. So you can see that this Vocalia is now a link, right? That's the link color. So people will know it's linked. So let's move to the footer. The footer here now, there's a few things you want to think about. You do need to have the unsubscribe. It's recommended you need to have the unsubscribe link as well as you need to have your organization name and a address in order for PowerBase to send the email out. So you have a couple choices here. You can take this area here and you can just start writing out the name if you want. So whatever your organization name is, like my organization name, and then you can just hit enter and just put address, right? Put the actual address. Since it's a template and I don't have to write this over and over and over again, especially if things may change or you want to change the kind of the wording of your organization, or maybe the address changes, I like to use tokens. So there is a token that will bring in your organization name and your organization address that actually was set up under the administer menu. If you go to administer console configuration checklists, there's an organization and address information that you can go in, and it should be set up already with your name, organization name and address, but you could check that area and make sure it's correct. So I like to use those tokens instead. So I'm going to go here, and it's called domain organization. Domain name will bring in the organization name. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to do this again. Go to tokens and more, and again, it starts with domain. And I'm just going to bring in the address. You can bring in more. There's an email and there's a phone number. And then I'm going to give it a couple spaces. And now here's where I'm going to put the unsubscribe. So I'm going to type the word unsubscribe. And so here's the little trick. I'm going to use, there is a token. So I'm going to just put my my tab up here for now. I'm going to grab the token for the unsubscribe. The token for the unsubscribe, you want to click on tokens, click on more, and we suggest using the unsubscribe via web page. right? So that's easier for folks to be able to unsubscribe because then they can see what groups that they are subscribed to. So I'm going to just copy and paste this token, but this I'm going to make it a link. So I'm going to highlight unsubscribe, and I'm going to click on the insert link, and then just copy the URL and OK, right? And then I can just delete that. So that's how you create links, and I'll show you one more example of creating links. So that's the unsubscribe. A couple things here. There are these little social media icons, which are really useful. To get to the icons, this is under content. And notice here, you can do this with using colors. You can do black and white. I like colors. So let's say, you may want to put your Facebook or Twitter. I'm just going to put Twitter. We don't use Google. I want the website, right? And maybe, you can put like maybe a YouTube channel. You can put what you want. But for now, I'm going to grab these. And then for Twitter, you got to put the link for it. So it's clickable. So I'm going to put our link. So usually it's like this, twitter.com, and then your actual handle, right? And then your website link is always good to have. Right, so basically my footer is pretty much done. So then now notice when you fix the color of the footer, the pre-header also will grab the same color scheme. So that's how this basically works. And again, one more time, if you're here and you're like, well, how else can I create a link? Buttons are great because it's great for your, especially on your phone, it's like you can put your thumb on it. But you could also put it on text. And if I wanted to add a link to text, I just sort of highlight the text and I would click on insert. And then you go ahead and put the link that you want. And I'll just put, just for here, just a link to the site. But the link to where you want them to go, and you click OK. That is and I didn't get it all, but that's the suggested way. Like, don't put actual links in your template. Like, definitely you want to put a hyperlink on some words because PowerBase changes the names of links because it's tracking who's clicking on things. So again, highlight the text and add your link that way. That is the best way of doing it. When you're done, or anytime you're ready, make sure you click on save. And now you can save the template, and the template is here, right? There's the general take action template. So when a template is created, it's easier than just to create a copy of an existing template because then your footer, your color scheme is already there, and you can just change and reformat the design. So that's basically how you create a Mosaico email template.